What happens when you combine an unethical network with a truly reprehensible politician? You get the kind of morally bankrupt lying or truth stretching that makes you have to question, once again, how low can these Republicans possibly go? Well, we might have to give Lindsey Graham the prize for saying the stupidest thing of late when he called D-Day a failure. But for the truly vomitously reprehensible thing to say, we have to turn to Iowa Senator Joni Ernst, who proved she will not only sell out her country, but also sell out her fellow brothers in the armed services just so she can score cheap political shots for Trump. We're going to take a close look at what she said, but before we do, let's take a close look at Senator Ernst. And you'll see it's no surprise that she's willing to stoop so low. Ernst was basically a nobody when she ran for Senate in 2014. She was a candidate with very few accomplishments, but her Republican primary opponent, Mark Jacobs, had supported a proposal to limit carbon emissions, and that pissed off Koch Industries. So guess who poured money into Joni Ernst's campaign and paid for a media blitz? And like most Republican empty suits, Ernst got a huge boost from one catchy ad where she referenced growing up on a pig farm and stating, "Washington's full of big spenders, let's make 'em squeal." And that's it. That and Koch brothers money got her a Senate seat. And in her tenure, she's proven to be just another Republican tool. She did that classically hypocritical flip-flop, denying Obama the opportunity to nominate a Supreme Court justice, but helped ram through a Republican nomination at the end of the Trump presidency. She was one of many Republicans flapping their gums opposing federal mandates to control COVID. But her top 10 list has got to be voting to support fetal personhood, voting against capping the price of insulin, calling Obama a dictator because he made recess appointments, and of course, opposing the impeachment of Trump after J6. So whenever Republicans need a tool to say something outrageous, they have a faithful minion in Joni Ernst. Ernst just went on Fox, and despite serving in the Iowa National Guard, she had this to say about President Biden's deceased son, Beau Biden, a former major and Iraq War veteran. Let's listen.
But the most egregious of all of these, Maria, is when he tells the families that have lost their loved ones in war in Iraq or Afghanistan that he lost his son, Beau Biden, in Iraq. No, he didn't. I have heard that many times from our Gold Star families, from them straight to me, that he keeps claiming his son Beau was killed in Iraq. We know that's a lie, and the president knows it's a lie.
Ernst's performance here is so egregious in its fabrication that it's almost difficult to know where to start. But certainly, Gold Star families are telling me Biden said is a page right out of the How to Lie as a Republican playbook. People are telling me is right on par with some people say, and it's not too far a reach from Trump's nearly endless line of, "This guy came up to me, tears in his eyes, and said, 'Sir.'" With Ernst, Gold Star families are telling her that Biden said his son was killed in Iraq, and many Iowa Gold Star families are saying this. Of course, there's no pushback from Fox, but why aren't the others out there asking for a list of names they can verify? I'd like to see just one of these family members attest to these facts, that Joe Biden said his son was killed in Iraq. Here's a heads up. You're not going to find one. I'll tell you what you will find. You will find over and over again Joe Biden asserting that his son Beau was exposed to burn pits in both Kosovo and Iraq, and that Biden believes this exposure was the cause of his son's brain cancer. Beau Biden succumbed to brain cancer at only 46 years old, to a type of brain cancer that usually affects people in their late 50s. And President Biden is not alone in thinking these burn pits are the cause. Author Joseph Hickman wrote an entire chapter of a book on Beau Biden's cancer, and his research co-located Biden's exposure at both Kosovo and Iraq burn pits. And Biden's exposure was significant, not modest. There has admittedly been some pushback against burn pits causing cancer. No surprise, given the enormous financial liability that would ensue from that. But Ernst isn't pushing back on causality here. She's calling Joe Biden a liar and accusing him of saying that his son was killed in Iraq, implying that what Biden is saying is that his son was killed in combat in Iraq. Ernst is former military. So where is her outrage over President Bone Spurs and Commander-in-Chief Trump avoiding military service by paying off a doctor? Where's her anger at Trump calling fallen soldiers suckers and losers? Ernst may have served in the military, but in telling these lies about President Biden, she is purposefully stepping on the body of a former soldier, a soldier who more than likely lost his life because of his exposure to burn pits at military bases. And she did it just so she can score cheap political points for her party and for Trump. That's a level of dishonor that should turn everyone's stomach. Joni Ernst owes much of her political career to her ability to go in front of cameras and say she used to castrate pigs. Well, Joni, pigs may squeal, but they don't lie. So what does that say about you? I'm Anthony Vincent Gallo for Occupy Democrats.